Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Play Too Much sessions. Thank you for joining us. My name is Brad. I'm dialed in from Manhattan today, as always, and we're lucky enough today to be joined from Nashville, Tennessee by Lucas Carpenter. Lucas Carpenter, thanks for being here, man.
Hey, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me, Brad.
Yeah, of course, man. I hope that your hands are feeling nice and warm. I know that your house is not nice and warm right now, as Nashville is like just barely into the double-digit temperatures right now. So I hope you're staying relatively comfortable and happy when, I know that there's just a massive amount of chilliness happening in that part of the country right now. So thank you for doing this. I'm glad that you have power. I'm glad that you have internet. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Glad to be doing it. Nashville's covered in a sheet of ice right now, but I kind of like it because I'm from Pennsylvania originally, and we don't get much snow here. And when it does snow, no one knows what to do. So the whole city, or especially ice, it's no one can drive anywhere, and the city doesn't have stuff to plow everything. So they just kind of shut the whole city down for a couple days, and it's actually kind of weirdly nice. It's we're double shut down, it's pandemic and ice. So
yeah.
We really can't do anything.
Man, New York is thawing right now. It's 55 degrees outside. My window's actually open as we speak, so that's nice because it's been pretty chilly in the Northeast recently as well. But nice out today. Kind of feels like spring. I doubt it's really, really spring, but it feels like it for today.
It's inching closer.
So, dude, thank you for doing this, and congratulations on the release of the Shimmer. It's out in the world. It's been out for a bit, but that is the record. That's the EP that we're gonna hear. I think all of the songs off of today. I know that at least 3 of them are going to be off that EP.
Yes.
But I think we also left it open-ended. So whatever you decide to do today, we would love to hear very much. What do you feel like doing first today?
So I'll do the song. It's actually the first. Is it the first? Yeah, it's the first song on the EP. The song Linda McCartney. I'm gonna play a little acoustic version of that ditty. Cool. All right, here we go, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm looking for my Linda McCartney, looking for my very own. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Oh my gosh, for a second, I thought I was in drop D because I was practicing a song in drop D, and I was like, if I start this and if this isn't drop D, it's gonna be a disaster. So, we're great. I'm looking for my Linda McCartney, looking for my very own, looking for my Linda McCartney, so I don't have to be alone. Well, maybe I'll meet you at a party. You're taking photos with my friends. I got a thing for a gal with a pretty face hid behind a camera lens. Yeah, you're gonna be my #1 muse, and I'll be glued right to your side. We'll never spend a day apart, at the very most 11 nights. But hey, do I have to be a Beatle just to find my haystack needle? Search below and high above to find love, yeah. 'Cause I'm just looking for my Linda McCartney, looking for my very own, looking for my Linda McCartney, so I don't have to be alone. I'm looking for my Linda McCartney, looking for my very own, looking for my Linda McCartney, so I don't have to be alone. No, I don't have to be alone. I don't have to be alone. And the hook goes do 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 do. Well, I got a band, maybe you could join it. You don't play, well that's alright. Here's a synth and a tambourine, baby you can shake it every night, yeah. We'll grow a garden and you'll write some cookbooks, get a sheepdog, and in the end it'll just be so damn easy making babies with my best friend. But hey, do I have to be a Beatle just to find my haystack needle? Search below and high above to find love, yeah. 'Cause I'm just looking for my Linda McCartney, looking for my very own, looking for my Linda McCartney, so I don't have to be alone. I'm looking for my Linda McCartney, I'm looking for my very own, looking for my Linda McCartney, so I don't have to be alone. No, I don't have to be alone. I don't have to be alone. Well, oh, no one wants to be alone. No, I don't have to be alone. I don't have to be alone. No, I don't have to be alone, so dance like do 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 do. Oh, I don't have to be alone. I don't have to be alone. I don't gotta be alone. Don't gotta be alone. No. Do 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 do.
Right. Thanks, Lucas.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I've been watching the videos that you did, not the official music videos for these songs, but the live looping videos that you've been putting out recently. Linda McCartney was the one that I watched most recently, and I saw the one for Stars Forever as well. Can you talk a little bit about what those videos are? And I mean, it looks like they're certainly a lot of fun to watch. I hope that they're as much fun to make as they are to watch. It's really fascinating watching these loops take shape, and you build a lot of sound just being one dude.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that's been kind of my thing for a long time as far as like touring and playing live as kind of the crazy one-man band show. And it kind of just evolved over time and kind of became this crazy thing that you see now that's like all of these instruments all around me and, you know, being able to do like DJ effects and stuff like that and having all these controllers and feet controllers and hand controllers and all that. So it kind of started out originally as just kind of a necessity to be able to tour and kind of do it very compactly and efficiently as far as like not having to take a band. But then it just kind of kept evolving and kind of became part of the sound. And so, yeah, so with all like with the new EP coming out, with my new like the rig is kind of totally different now too as far as the looping stuff goes. And not being able to tour, I'm like, I need to really put out what I'm doing live and show people what I'm doing live or will be doing live with all the multiple cameras and all that kind of stuff. And there's part of it that's super fun, but then there's another part of it that's like, it's so nerve-wracking and aggravating, you know, because it's like, really what you're doing is in a sense, it's because there's arranging all of it and figuring out what you can play and what you can't play, trying to figure out like how can you make it really compact so you're not taking 10 minutes to play a 3-minute song, you know, because that kind of gets boring visually and to the audience, you know. So just figuring out what you can do and how you can do it. Like the arranging takes a long time, but then it's like figuring out what parts you're going to play when and arranging it, but then literally just playing it over and over and over again because it's all muscle memory. I mean, it's like playing any other instrument except you're playing like 5 or 6, but you're just playing little parts, and then you're almost DJing, you know, you're almost like bringing the stuff in and out as you go to kind of like make the arrangement so it's not just like build it and then it just stays this way the whole song. It's like actually being able to, you know, take a kick drum part out and then like bring it back in and then like smack a cymbal and, you know, do all this stuff. So it's like spinning all these plates and just doing it over and over and over again. Just like you'd learn any other instrument, you know?
Do you still anticipate, so when you are back on the road, will you bring a bunch of crazy instruments with you? I mean, I know you play a ton of different things and are very interested in the history of various instruments, and there's some pretty obscure things that you are knowledgeable about and are able to play. Do you imagine, I mean, is it going to be loop-based and obscure instrument-based, do you think? Or, what is the craziest thing that I'm guaranteed not to have ever heard of that you have in your arsenal?
I mean, I probably, well, I don't know. I might see the thing about, you know, I never. It's like I dabble on a lot of things. Like I can play guitar well, like pretty well, and I can sing well. But it's like everything else, I'm kind of like I wouldn't consider myself a penny whistleist. You know what I mean? Because there's like legit people who are just like, you know, like just freaking, you know, dancing around playing. It's like, I mean, I dabble and love to dabble on everything and anything I can get my hands on. So a lot of this stuff, you know, I mess around with, you know what I mean? But I've been collecting stuff for a long time. It's weird when you go and play this stuff live because for one, you could have an instrument that's like, honestly, a lot of them are really, especially folk instruments and stuff, they're really delicate a lot of the time. So trying to take them on the road, a lot of times it's difficult because you have to figure out, okay, how can I have this thing set up on stage and have it be literally secured enough so that if it, you know, it's not going to fall over and break, you know, because they're kind of fragile, some of them. Like I have glass, these little glass, they're they're called crystal flutes, and they're made of glass. They're little fifes made of glass.
Wow.
And I'd probably never play those live because you drop them. They're glass, so they're just like done. So if you need a fife, you just probably bust out a little plastic one or whatever. And so it's you're trying to figure out what can you play live, what can you bring, having the right cases for it. Miking the stuff too is really difficult sometimes because like a lot of times they don't make mics specifically for some weird little instrument. So
yeah, it's unlikely that the sound guy in XYZ, a venue, has ever mic'd a crystal flute. You said crystal fife.
Yeah. So it's like some stuff. It's like you can, if it's a flute, you can play it into a regular mic. But a hammered dulcimer or something, which is I'm kind of mildly out of shot. It's right here. But
House of Waters by any chance? I'm sorry, I don't want to go on a total digression, but this band House of Waters, this dude Max is known as the Jimi Hendrix of the hammered dulcimer, and I just had a clinic in miking hammered dulcimers 2 weeks ago, which I don't want to make that a total digression. I'm on board with what you were saying. I just wanted to let you know that I have been thinking about hammered dulcimers quite a bit lately.
Oh my gosh, that's we should discuss that at some point. But yeah, it's trying to figure out, and especially if you're planning on looping the stuff, because if you're planning on looping the stuff, that's a whole other weird thing, because you have to figure out a mic setup that isn't going to like pick up a ton of extra stuff. Because if, let's say, it's like you got a hammered dulcimer, right? It's in you, and you got mics sticking on it. But if you're trying to loop it and you already have something like rolling through a PA system, that's going to go through those mics. So it ends up like it's kind of like you end up making it louder and louder and louder and louder and louder gradually, and so it can be really challenging. Whereas like a guitar with a pickup system like built into it, that's only picking up the guitar, so it's not going to pick up all the other like background noise and stuff. So it's really challenging to figure out like what you can do live and what you can't do live. But in answer to your question, the crystal flutes, that's probably a pretty weird one. I have it's called a chiftily. Which is this little, unfortunately it's upstairs, but it's like it's the national instrument of Albania.
Wow.
And I got it it's like a little lute, guitar-y type 2-string thing. That
qualifies, man. I certainly have not ever heard of a chiftily before just now. That's awesome. I like learning stuff.
Yeah, it's the national instrument of Albania, and they're fun because they have like the fret system. It's got microtone frets on it, so you'll end up, it's made to one scale, but the frets are like slightly off. So we have like, you have like a half step, but they have like this like
quarter
it's
tone.
Like quarter tone weird stuff going on. So it sounds so wacky to your ears. So it's hard to, that kind of stuff. You can figure out how to make that into kind of like modern pop music, which is basically what I do. But it's challenging. That stuff's like really weird because it could work really well, or it could just sound like it's completely out of tune. Yeah, man. Well, dude, that's good for you for wading into those waters and using instruments that could, if you were not using them correctly, could seem like a mistake to a lot of people, but using them in the way they are intended to is awesome, and that's a bold move. I'm glad that you're doing it. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's funny too, because like sometimes I learned in high school, because like I loved the band Rusted Root when I was in high school, and they had the song "Send Me On My Way."
Totally.
And like that's kind of, it's like Rusted Root, Dave Matthews Band, the Beatles. That was kind of where I started with music. So I started learning music to bands that played all these different instruments. So to me, it was just this natural thing where it was like, oh yeah, I'll grab a penny whistle, like I'll play this other stuff and like learn these little parts and stuff. So it was just a natural thing to do. And like I found out very early on, playing river lot parties and all that stuff, playing covers and original music at 16, that like you could have a guitar that's like, not that I had a $5,000 guitar in high school, but it's like you could have a $5,000 guitar or a $20,000 guitar, and people would be like, wow, that's a really pretty guitar. But if you pick up a $15 penny whistle and you bust that out, people lose their freaking minds. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause they're like, what's he doing? Whoa! So I learned that at a very early age, that there's the theatrics of all of it too that makes it really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, dude, I wish you the best and all of us the best in terms of getting back out on the road and being able to do those theatrics in front of actual people, man. I'm, fingers crossed. Hopefully we get to do that at some point in 2021 safely, of course. But, yeah, this thing has lasted long enough, dude. I'm ready to go see a show. That's for sure. I appreciate you doing this electronically today over the internet, and we're going to hear more music, man. What do you feel like doing second today?
Sure. Yeah. So, this tune is another tune off the EP, and this was kind of the first one of. Some of the songs on the EP were older, and or were partially written and then I finished. But this was the first of a new batch of like brand new writing that was inspired by when you see somebody, and ultimately you're like, wow, I'm so into that person, but this would be really probably a terrible, terrible idea. But I would probably do it anyways. And so this is my own weird version of that universal truth, I guess. It's called First Ex-Wife. You look like trouble to me, laughing, spinning in a sequin onesie. You're beautiful and talented, a theater dork with a budget, and my judgment saying you might be a little crazy. Well, me too, babe, and I'm not trying to tame you, but I couldn't just date you. So, do you wanna be my first ex-wife? Eternity, just for a while. Well, it may not go wrong, but it probably won't go right. So I'll be your ex-husband if you'll be my ex-wife. Yeah! It's not that we'd want it to fail, no! But looking at our histories, this might not prevail. 'Cause you're waving all the red flags as you're drawing me like a bubble bath. We don't just want some fling that neither one remembers. So let me love you hard till it falls apart later. But that'll be later, yeah, that'll be later. So, do you wanna be my first ex-wife? Eternity, just for a while. Well, it may not go wrong, but it probably won't go right. So I'll be your ex-husband if you'll be my ex-wife. Be your ex-husband if you'll be my ex-wife. Well, maybe it's just self-fulfilling prophecy, but maybe it's not where it leads. Maybe our love could tackle anything, anything, anything. Maybe it's destiny, temporarily, or codependency, just unraveling us at the seams. But at the very least, at the very least, at the very least, do you wanna be my first ex-wife? Eternity, just for a while. Well, it may not go wrong, but it probably won't go right. So I'll be your ex-husband if you'll be my ex-wife. Do you wanna be my first ex-wife? Eternity, it's just for a while. Well, it may not go wrong, but it probably won't go right. So I'll be your ex-husband if you'll be my ex-wife. Be your ex-husband if you'll be my ex-wife. Be your ex-husband if you'll be my first. Won't you be my first ex-wife? Please. 'Cause you only get one first, only get one first, only get one first. You only get one first, only get one first, only get one first. 'Cause you only get one first, only get one first, only get one first. You only get one first, only get one first, only get one first. And you look like trouble to me.
Thank you, Lucas.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So I've just recently found out that you were a Berkeley guy. You went to Berkeley School of Music, and I knew from sound check and from us chatting that you are a Nashville guy, have been a Nashville guy for a while. Can you talk a little bit about what, maybe compare and contrast what those two different music communities were like? Like what it was like for you in and around Cambridge during the Berkeley years versus what you found when you moved to Nashville. You said what, it's coming up on 10 years. Yeah, 9 years ago. What do you find those communities to have similar qualities? You find them to be two vastly different groups of people, or how does that strike you?
Well, for one, what's interesting is the whole reason that I found out about Nashville and came to Nashville in the first place was because of Berkeley. Because Berkeley would do and still does these, in non-COVID times, does these spring break trips here every year. And basically, it's like 5 days of just hanging out with all these music industry people and musicians and writers and publicists and record executives and like all sorts of people, and you just have workshops with 100, 120 kids and just all these massive people in the music industry. So it was it was so insane because it was like Berkeley obviously has a lot of crazy connections and stuff, and like it's hard to not fall in love with Nashville when literally within 24 hours of being here for the first time you're hugging Alison Krauss. You know what I mean? It's like so it was hard to not be like, oh my gosh, this place is this like magical.
Yeah, you're just gonna get to hug Alison Krauss every day.
Exactly right. That's just life. That's just what life looks like here. And that first trip was so crazy. It was like Nickel Creek also did a workshop with us where like they were trying to mic up Nickel Creek, and they're like, oh, it's just a small room. We don't need mics. So friggin' we like listen to Nickel Creek play with no microphones, nice. And it's just like what in the world, And so, anyways. So there's definitely there was definitely some very purposeful cross breeding with Nashville and Berkeley, and Berkeley had a ever growing network of people in Nashville, and especially in the song. Like I was a songwriting major in the songwriting department and stuff. That was like a big thing. But I mean, as far as like, because I've lived in a bunch of other cities too, and I think that Nashville definitely. It's more diverse than people think it is. For one, obviously most people think it's like country music, and now it's kind of getting out of that where more people are realizing that like, oh, there's a lot of other things going on here. But obviously there's this stigma among folks that it's primarily country music. But I love country music. I've always loved story songwriting and country music and stuff. So that part I loved. Berkeley definitely was. It's different. It's like any other college atmosphere where, in the sense that it's like, you kind of got your built-in community, where it's like all your friends, you're all going and doing workshops together, you're doing classes together, and you kind of have your like built-in friends, and it's really easy to make friends. It's really easy to, kind of network with people and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of, have a college experience as weird as Berkeley was for a college experience. And Nashville, it's just like, for one, it's like, I moved here when I was almost 30. And so like, making friends as an adult is always weird. You know what I mean? You have like,
we're genetically programmed to shed friends as we age and procreate and all that stuff. Like, it is. It's tough, man.
Yeah. So it's like, it's weird enough when, you kind of, well, before I get to that, I'll say that like Berkeley had such a there's like 40, like at the time 40% of the students were international students, so it was just people from all over the world. And my love for obviously weird instruments and weird musical cultures and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was like space camp. You know what I mean? It was just so many amazing people and things to see and do, and especially if you were willing to like put in the effort and like go outside of just the classroom stuff and all of the other workshops and crazy things that were happening. So, so it's like Nashville has obviously like has so much going on musically, but again, when you're in that atmosphere where it's like, it's literally being fed to you all the time in a college environment, it's very different when you're like, I'm an adult and like, there's a lot stuff happening, but it's like, do I know about it? What's going on? Like, am I in those circles? And so it's, I feel like as an adult, it just kind of takes time to kind of build your own community. You know what I mean? Because it's like in Nashville, it's like it exists. Like there's definitely so many amazing artists here, and it's overwhelming at times. But it's also to find your own kind of clique in your own kind of world. It just I think it takes some time. So in that sense, it's like it's very It's very different. But there's and you also have like Berkeley. It's one school, so it's like you have one school and everybody's there. But it's like in Nashville, you have people that didn't go to school. You obviously have Belmont. You have all the different schools here that have music programs and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's a different type of melting pot. It's like a little bit whiter, but it's like it's still a melting pot. You know what I mean?
Whiter than Cambridge?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
okay.
See, that's the thing. Is like Boston. I mean, especially Berkeley. Like, because Berkeley, again, it's like 40% of the students were international students.
Right.
So it was like Berkeley was Boston itself is like pretty Caucasian, but Berkeley was kind of a very, very worldly school.
Sure.
And it's again, it was kind of I was like being all nostalgic the other day when I was like working on bio stuff, like new bio stuff, and was putting all the stuff about Berkeley, and I was like, man, like just kind of writing down my thoughts, and I was like, yeah, that was really a crazy weird experience, and I've always known that, and I've always appreciated that, but it's kind of like, oh, that really was like the perfect place for me to go to school, for me personally, and some people don't like it, or it's not really for them. Obviously, tons of people don't have to go to school for music, and they're crushing, But for
it's
me,
world class, though. I mean, that's
yeah.
the best place. That's the name that rings out constantly. I mean, that's the best place. If you're lucky enough to know what you want to do, and lucky enough to know that you do need educate, like the structure of education could be beneficial to you, then there's no better place than Berkeley, I think.
Yeah, and it's I think it helped me too, because I went to the University of Pittsburgh for a year, like before I even knew Berkeley really existed, and I didn't know you could go to school for songwriting. I thought I was either going to be going for like musical theater, or I'd go into like ethnomusicology or something. Like I wanted to be a performer and a songwriter. Like that's what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to go to college for it somehow. But it's like I didn't know, I could actually go to school for that, like for music or for songwriting specifically. So it was kind of like, I'm really glad that I had this, like I had gone to school and then taken a semester off, because it's like I knew what like a normal college looked like, and I could tell that like Berkeley was Hogwarts, you know what I mean, in comparison to a regular school.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of kids who were 18 or 17 even and going right into Berkeley, they didn't get it. Like they didn't get that it's like, this isn't like the rest of the world. Like this isn't like the rest of music schools. This is like this weird thing, and I'm really grateful that it's like I had that previous experience to kind of look at and be like, oh, this is like a totally different thing. Like it's obviously definitely got its flaws, just like any other institution. But it was like, for me personally, it was like, yeah, this works.
Nice. Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you got to have that experience. And there is yet more music coming up. I think so. We've got time for one more today. Does that
cool.
work
fine.
for you? What do you feel like doing third today?
So one more jam. Now I'll go to drop D. So this is I guess you could say it's one of the singles. I feel like in this era it's kind of weird, because it's like singles, like singles are singles, but it's like everything is out there, and you can
everything is a single. I mean, I have felt, I don't want to go off again, but it does definitely seem like the importance of cohesion to an album. Sometimes it's selectively important. Sometimes it is important to have an album, but other times when things are put together, released as singles, and maybe they end up as an album, even though they're not cohesive, that doesn't bother me at all. It used to, but it doesn't now. And I don't want to make it a whole other point, so we're about to listen to your music. And,
I warned you. I was like, you're like, how many songs do you want to do? I'm like, I can talk a lot, so be warned. So this one is I made a music video of it. I made what I call a disco tunnel in the basement. It's in another room over here. I
saw that, dude, with that super wide angle lens.
Yeah.
And it looks like a Busta
90s.
Rhymes or like a Missy Elliott video.
Yeah, I was going for like DIY Busta Rhymes, like 90s. Yeah, that's really what I was thinking. Literally watching like all these like wide, like looking up wide angle lens 90s videos and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like smearing paint all over myself, and it's weird and fruity and, I don't know.
It works, man. I think it's great. I watched it more than one time.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're doing that kind of crap and you're literally doing it all by yourself and you're like, I think this looks kind of cool. I hope that other people don't think I've completely lost my mind. Or if they do think I've lost my mind, maybe that's like great PR. I don't know. Hey, this guy is nuts. Anyways, here's the song. The song is called Your Girlfriend. Well, I see you standing there in the back of the bar, looking pretty cool, looking pretty hard. And I know you're probably making fun of everything I do up here in my cowboy boots. And I know you're probably making fun of everything I do up here in my cowboy boots. And you're saying to your buddies, look at him go, prance around the stage like some caffeinated homo. I know you're looking to kill the buzz just because you don't got the microphone. Well, throw a fit, bash me on your ego trip. It won't hurt me one bit, 'cause your girlfriend loves my shit. Your girlfriend loves my shit. You know she can't stop singing it, singing it, singing it. Your girlfriend loves my shit. Your girlfriend loves my shit. She got a permanent smile stuck on her lips, 'cause your girlfriend loves my shit. She loves it. She loves it. She loves it. Well, I saw you play with your band just the other day, taking yourself so seriously. Well, you're never gonna win them over if you think your best is that watered-down Radiohead. Look, I know it's obvious you practice every single night, tossing back your hair, making sure you dress right. I know you're looking to set the mood, but your tunes don't have a hook in sight. She says, sweetheart, you are off to such a great start, but who's the soundtrack in her car? Yep, your girlfriend loves my shit. Your girlfriend loves my shit. You know she can't stop singing it, singing it, singing it. Your girlfriend loves my shit. Your girlfriend loves my shit. She got a permanent smile stuck on her lips, 'cause your girlfriend loves my shit. She loves it. She loves it. She loves it. She loves it. Oh, 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 she loves it. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. She loves it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. She loves it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. She loves it. Come on, come on, come on. I guess I'll see you at the show. You know you gotta go, 'cause she'll be in the front row. Because she can't stop singing it, singing it, singing it. She loves my shit. You know she can't stop singing it, singing it, singing it. She loves my shit. This is like the Third Eye Blind. This is like the Third Eye Blind chant back moment, you know. She can't stop singing it, singing it, singing it. She loves my shit. You know she can't stop singing it, singing it, singing it. She loves my shit. Your girlfriend loves my shit. Your girlfriend loves my shit. You know she can't stop singing it, singing it, singing it. Your girlfriend loves my shit. Your girlfriend loves my shit. She got a permanent smile stuck on her lips, 'cause your girlfriend loves my shit. She loves it. She loves it. She loves it. She loves it. Come on, come on, she loves it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, she loves it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, she loves it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, she loves it. Come on, come on, come on. And I can't seem to keep your girl off of my. Hey.
Thanks, Lucas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for spending your Tuesday afternoon with us. Hopefully the heat comes back on and you're able to heat more than just the one room in the house, and the entire house stays warm. I really appreciate you coming and doing this today. Best of continued luck on the Shimmer. That EP is out in the world right now, and yeah, man, that was music from it, so we really appreciate it. And hopefully you're back on the road as the world opens, whenever that happens, and you're back here in New York City. I'll be here, and yeah, I hope to meet you in reality and do that when we can do so safely.
Absolutely, man. I would love that. I really appreciate your time and having me, and yeah, I hope we can do it in person sometime.
Indeed. All right, man. We'll enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.